Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie, and you'll notice it's a little different looking. And it's only how many years in the making of kind of looking like a podcast room?
At least
2?
I don't know.
3? I don't know.
I was like, is that 2
I
or
was
4?
I was still working on the intro.
So we have this room that was never meant to actually be a podcast room that we were like, let's film in there. And so we put the 2 chairs and like a desk, and it's not very big. And so then I bought this table to be a kitchen table from my house.
Yeah.
And then I came up with the idea
Yeah.
that a round table
Should be in here.
should be in here.
And it happened. We got it.
Nate has been telling me to do a round table for a long time.
We probably
Yeah.
have it in podcasts.
Probably.
Talking about a round table.
It's going to be a dual purpose area because, you know, we're nerds and we've talked about it a lot. Stop.
There's the preface.
Stop. We are nerds and we like Dungeons and Dragons. And so this is going to be our Dungeons and Dragons lair.
This is our new lair.
This is the lair. So it's like a bare room right now. It has nothing on the walls. There's no shelving, but we're going to work on that. So today it's like an actual catch up. I feel like the last few weeks we've always had somebody as like a guest and we've been chatting with them about very specific topics. And then today is just, it's just a little catch up. It's just back to the roots.
Back to the roots.
Back to the roots. And I do have a little list because I put a prompt on Facebook. Facebook is kind of where it gets the most. I'm not going to lie. That's the social platform that gets the most pictures and status posts. And so I put a little prompt asking what some of you would like.
Yeah, I subscribed to the
about.
wrong one. I
What did-
subscribed to the Instagram one. Let me tell you.
Subscribers
as
get the
good.
same things. Subscribers.
I only
all-
did it to get my DMs read. It was really only, and that didn't even work. So
I'm
Do
sorry.
you still get the automated?
yeah.
Yeah.
They were so ruthless when we started using an automated.
Actually, I think I just got it so I could see subscriber content,
Automated.
and then I never unsubscribed.
And so no, you just subscribed to my email list then.
No, I subscribed. No, I wanted to see the apron ad. Yeah,
You wouldn't.
that was
That's crazy.
worth every penny.
So yeah, Matt. So what was so funny about that was Abra, the night that we made the apron ad. So we have aprons in my store. Can we put a little pop up of Matt wearing my apron? I have a picture. We have aprons in the store, and we were launching them to subscribers first because that's what we do when we have limited quantity. And it was late at night at the horse show. Like we were like, crap.
We had
still
a
have to
few.
do this. No,
That's not true.
and we still had to do the apron ad. And I was like, Matt, put this apron on. And then Aubrey was so mad at me. She was so mad. She's like, you couldn't just put it on. And
I haven't seen this.
it sold well.
I
You
haven't-
haven't seen it? Hold on.
I haven't seen you in the apron.
Hold, please.
I'm not a subscriber.
Well,
I think
it
I
made
think
it
Macy
around
is,
to the
though.
Reddit pages,
I'm about
I'm
not
pretty
to be.
sure.
The title of this video is Matt unsubscribes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
With the cowboy hat on?
Look at that pic of you.
I know. Send that
Oh,
to
yeah.
me.
You want that?
Well, so I can put it in the video.
You seem like there's a little glint of a little cheer in the eyes.
Oh, he was ready. He was like twirling.
Yeah.
He was doing it.
It was a rare occasion I was overly optimistic one evening.
He wasn't being surly and
Not
emo.
surly.
And speaking of that trip, because it leads into something I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We dyed your hair, and you showed up with dyed hair.
Yeah.
Are we all in like a hair crisis?
Well, it was conditional. Like we had talked about it for a long time. And then it was like, well, if I do it, you do it. And he did it, so I did it.
So like
Yeah.
he just showed up to Kentucky looking like that, and we were all just
Busted.
like, because he had hair down here.
Yeah.
It was very different.
I cut it, dyed it, same appointment.
Wait, did you show up? No, you showed up at the house looking
Oh,
like
yeah, that's
James
right.
Potter.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you went and did something else.
Yeah. I went James Potter, and then I wore that a few days, and I got more James Potter. And then I thought that's a little too much James Potter. So
It's the glasses don't help. 'Cause
right,
they're circular.
and I didn't want to put myself into a box, so I just made another appointment.
And you put some you did a little blonde.
Yeah, I went blonde, got a lot more texture.
What's the morning routine like nowadays with that hair? Do you have to work for that hair, or is that just
I don't really have to do much at all.
that's just how it is?
I just put like a little of something in it, and it just
Yeah.
just
I
does
still
it.
have my styling stuff here, as a matter of fact. I need to get.
Also, try not to
reminding me.
look at it.
The amount of stuff that he leaves at my home.
I know. It's really
So-
following season.
He also had a hair crisis, and he's wanted. I don't even think
I'm
you're at your
brassy.
full form yet. You're not at your full form yet because you wanted like silver hair.
Yeah. And it received a warm welcome from everybody that I was worried about hating it. My wife, my church, and my dad.
In no particular order.
In no particular order. And they all loved it. But yeah, certainly. And
But
I feel-
Rachel did it in Kentucky.
And Rachel, that is a notable thing. Rachel did do this in Kentucky, and she had experience as a hairdresser, retired for who knows how long. So I don't know. there was certainly risk involved because being a hairdresser for 10 years, she could have been a bad hairdresser for 10 years.
Could have been.
So certainly a lot of risk and trust on my part. But she came through, and everybody who I know who's a hairdresser, which was 2 people, said that it was really, really, really good and done really well. But I think
It's just not. It's
But
just not what you.
I wanted silver. I wanted the Dr. Matthew Silver Fox kind of vibes.
Okay, so like gray.
No, I just wanted to throw his name out there. I really want silver, like silver,
And I will
like almost white, like Targaryen silver. If that helps you visualize like Targaryen.
Targaryen.
I
white.
did get reprimanded. It's not the right word, but slightly when I was talking to Rachel, and I was questioning her a little bit on if this was gonna get silver.
It did it.
And she said, have you been doing hair for 10 years? And I said, no, I'll be quiet. But then it's not silver.
No,
So it's worth to note you started with dark brown hair,
Yeah.
and when you bleach stuff,
Well, he dyed it darker.
you had. That's the thing too. You had dye in it. No, you had virgin hair
I had virgin.
But y'all dyed it first.
The roots.
Okay.
because he wanted contrast.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
So
And I do want contrast.
it's worth to note that when you bleach, you can't just get to like white immediately without just killing your hair.
Right.
Like you have to work at that.
You
But
would
I'm
So-
still disappointed.
you would have made the sacrifice.
That doesn't make me any less sad. No, but I don't hate it. Like I'm still like torn. Like I don't even know if I'll even go.
I think
I think blonde looks cool.
it looks great blonde.
But yeah, I do
It's
have the
blonde
toner.
though. Yeah.
It is blonde for sure.
but I know what your heart wants.
Yeah.
And it's silver.
And I have the toner. I just don't know what the process is. But
Do
somebody
you guys
does.
do you have purple shampoo?
Rachel said not to use that.
Why?
Now, Grant, maybe she said
know.
to
She
use
was throwing
that.
some-
No, she
Maybe
probably
she-
said to use
maybe she
that.
did.
No.
So I did put it
She
in my
said
hair.
no purple shampoo.
Maddie said, I'm pretty sure.
She said no purple
Let's call
shampoo.
her.
She's on vacation.
I still would call her. But there's a ladybug on that light, notable. Maddie told me to put purple shampoo in my hair dry, and so I did that. She said to leave it in for like 10 or 15 minutes, and I fell asleep on the couch for like an hour. And I washed it out, and it really was super, super light, but it faded after that. Like it got blonde again. So I don't know what the answer is, other than going to the hair salon and saying I want more stuff.
Chat. Help us out on the hair.
And also help me out on the hair because
Katie's hair is perfect.
No, it's not.
She literally has like
No.
elven
Yeah.
locks.
So I did. We went to our anniversary dinner last night,
Uh-huh.
and so you would have loved my hair last night. It was Elvin.
Yeah.
You want to see?
Where'd you go? To
Where'd you
dinner?
go?
We went to Ruth's Chris
Okay.
in Nashville, and it was very good. I didn't throw up because we went to a work dinner on Friday.
That's the standard for a good night out.
we went to a work dinner on Friday, and like all for nothing because I got so car sick on the way home that I threw up all over our driveway.
That's
Notable.
rough.
But we had a great dinner last night. Anyway, I was like sweaty outside doing everything. And I was like, oh, I have to get ready for this anniversary dinner. And so I came in and like dry shampooed the crap out of my hair. And then I did that. It's kind of elven-y.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
really nice.
Little
Yeah.
curl at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be curl throughout.
It says braided.
Wow, the little curl at the bottom
But
looks nice.
That's the problem. That is the problem, is that my hair is so it's underneath the table.
Too much.
It's too much. It's too thick. It's too.
How many likes does this video have to get to bob it?
Whoa.
500,000. Like,
Oh.
I'm so sorry. I will not bob it.
For somebody that could pull off anything, like yourself, I feel like that's not the craziest
Anyone that
thing.
tells me to get a bob is preying on my downfall. I'm just gonna say that. Like,
I think Bob, they're back, dude. They're coming
anybody that, because I love a good bob on someone that can do it. I am not a bob person. I had my hair up to here.
What's like your one if you could just have it for a day and then like put it back and like to normal?
Oh, I really like a shaggy, like I would do like a mullet.
Like you like
Okay.
it's
Like a
something that they're, like
shaggy
you would have
Like
to
a wolf cut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like super wolf cut. Yeah, I would do
Yeah.
that. But I want my hair
That's
back
tough.
the next day. But I mean, kind of like that. I haven't cut my hair in 14 months. It's all like just one length.
Yeah.
And I do really want to go get a ton of layers, chop it. Because like, I think last May I chopped it to here. So I mean, that's like all this year's growth.
Yeah.
And I want to go chop it and do something color wise. What
You're gonna go blonde?
We like weave it into Kennedy's like show thing or whatever and make it like a whole thing. So you got my hair in it. This is the whole thing.
You take like the last 6 inches of her tail is like yours woven in
Yeah, because she
For
has
what?
showing.
for Kennedy.
Yeah, like doesn't she have like a tail thing?
She has, a fake
Yeah.
tail? What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
We could
You-
put the last 6 inches of your
you
hair.
cut 6 inches off and then weave
in
it
it.
into her tail, or like weave it into
and
her.
now y'all are
braids.
like truly.
and now you become one. That's like your unification ceremony.
And then she like starts
We're not
winning.
avatars.
Then she starts winning everything.
We're not avatars.
Yeah, dude. Then once you start like being able to hear her thoughts, it's like,
She starts winning everything, and she's getting ready. She's like, "Where's my hair?"
what's that show called? What's that zebra movie called?
Racing stripes?
Yeah, is that what it is with the flies? And
Secretariat?
Stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She can't hear his thoughts, dude.
I know, but that just made me think of that movie. Anyway, moving forward.
Okay. Anyway,
inches.
I want to know, because I want to color it. And I've been told when I have my hair super dark and with bangs that I look a little like Ella Langley. I've been told I look a little like Ella Langley when I have my bangs and when it's really dark.
You know how most supplements are built for everyone, which basically means built for no one. Biologica is different. It's a drinkable daily multivitamin designed specifically for women, with clinically studied ingredients formulated at the exact research-backed doses, not sprinkle amounts. Clean ingredients, no added sugar, and something you'll actually look forward to taking. What I love about the brand is that they recognize women's health changes across life. So they make 3 formulas: primary essentials for your reproductive years, midlife essentials for perimenopause, and postmenopause essentials for life after menopause. One drink built for exactly where you are. Visit Biologica to get started and find your formula today. Not sure which one is right for you? Make sure to take Biologica's quick hormonal life stage quiz to find the formula right for you. And right now, you can save up to 32% per month when you subscribe. The link is in my description. And now, back to the video.
You do look good in bangs.
I think the bangs will come back, but I need some color. Like, do I go? I've been blonde before.
I think
Do you
blonde
go
would look great.
blonde?
Do I go blonde?
I think blonde would be great.
Do I do a balayage? Do I do highlights?
Or
do
do
I
we
go
do
dark?
COVID and like pink and blue, like COVID era, like everybody's getting crazy.
And
But
I didn't do
You didn't
that.
have to go outside.
my wife did.
You could have
my
any
wife
hair.
had a little pink in her hair.
You could have any hair you wanted.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All for it. I'd put some pink in my hair if I had it. Like your wolf cut, mine would be like pink, like completely like a whatever green,
You're
blue.
a dude though. You could do that.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't like same thing. I'm just saying like my one that I would have for one day and put it back.
I
be
just
that.
feel like I hit 30 and I'm like, I need something
Something.
different.
You need a tattoo.
I need something.
You
need a tattoo.
No.
Something that's
do.
maybe.
No. Me and Jonathan, we're like on like a no tattoo. Like
I know,
Y'all talk about it.
we've
Or
talked
you just-
about
or
it in the
just
past.
haven't
but it
done
hasn't been revisited.
Like we were like, yeah, we're just not gonna do tattoos.
Okay.
I think you would look good blonde.
You could do blonde.
It's been a minute. So like yesterday was my anniversary, so a lot of the pictures were popping up from my wedding, and I dyed my hair darker for our like big wedding because during COVID we had to get married twice. So for my like elopement, my balayage was like grown out, and did that spark something? Balayage.
That is.
It's like where they dye it, but not all the way to the root. So that was a way for me to be
Okay.
lazy, and like have my hair balayage, Balayage.
Not even close.
Balayage.
Babylonia.
It's a freehand hair painting.
So like
technique.
this picture from my like first wedding. Look at my hair.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
like that. Like
do
you would
that.
Look, yeah, do that.
Do
I
that.
think you would look
again.
great. I think it would be a breath of
just
fresh
killed
air.
my hair.
But imagine we all go blonde.
But what? Like you have hair to kill. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine
It's
we
like,
all,
what's the worst case scenario? You lose a
just,
third of it.
It just absolutely that was with it being kind of like
gorgeous.
Yeah.
that was kind of it'd been months
I'll
since
go
I'd done
more
it.
blonde.
I would, dude. If you like, I would be such a hype man. If I walked in and you were like that, dude, I would embarrass you. How much I would compliment you. Why not?
I gotta get an appointment because I can't let
time.
Rachel because me and
Why?
Rachel work too closely together, and so if she burnt my hair off,
Right. That would be.
Yeah, that would.
it would not be good. I'm
end
not
it
saying she
all.
would burn my hair off. I'm just saying the risk is there.
But you're saying she's been out of it a while.
No, I don't.
Risk is certainly higher. With
I've
her
had
than
friends that were
somebody else.
active hairdressers that I'm like, you can't do my hair. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
It
wouldn't.
just, especially if I'm cutting it too. So I think I need ideas. They say to do that. Let me know what y'all think.
Or blue.
blonde.
I accidentally did exactly what you just said, where I left this blue like mask on that was supposed to take all the brassiness out because that's the thing. Like having blonde hair is just so much more high maintenance. And so I left this mask on way too long and I had blue hair
Oh no, that's
for
awesome.
a bit.
I'm down. I'm down for some colored hair.
Yeah.
Down for some colored hair, dude. I'm 32. I'm getting to like. It's either
No,
both-
you're not.
I am too.
No, you are
I'll be
not.
I'll be 29.
You'll be. He's 28.
I'll be 29 in October. I feel like I'm 44.
Nate's well into his 30s.
Wow. I'm really glad you turned 29 before I turned 32.
It's really
He
crazy.
doesn't though.
It's really crazy. It's like that I'm like the youngest.
What
Your
is it
birthday's
now?
in like a week and a half.
Oh
No, it's not. A month and a
Yeah,
half.
but it's coming up.
He's gonna still be
Yeah,
28 and you're gonna
you'll
be
20,
32.
I'll be 32. Okay.
You're the oldest of the group.
I thought we were in a different month.
I think we should do it live. We should color your hair live. You should.
Wow.
Should I just hire a hairdresser,
Yeah, bring him here.
Yeah.
bring him here, hire like a blonde specialist,
Yeah.
A
come
blonde
here,
specialist and say, fix us.
and then
All three. We can all three do it.
We'll just get a
Have-
vat of bleach and stick our heads
We
in
can
it.
bring 3 specialists and we can all do it at the same time.
that's an expensive
But
day.
you can start extra early because
Yeah, you'd have
you
to.
have more hair.
That's the thing. I
Yeah,
don't
you would
know
have to
that
be
y'all
a
know how
freaking-
long it would take.
Yeah,
like,
I know. You would have
with
to
just doing my like usually I go get an all over color and I just go a little darker and then I get my hair cut and I do like an Olaplex treatment. That's 5 hours right there. That's no blonde.
Maybe we'll just do it before and after.
Everything that's in it right now is just kind of like
then
natural
we'll just hang out.
highlights.
We'll just take a before and after pic.
Yeah, and just hang out the whole time.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, we had our anniversary dinner, 6 years. How long have y'all been married? Jesus.
21,
4.
5,
4.
coming on 5.
What
The next
month?
one will be
Our
5.
next one will be 5.
Next one will be 5.
You both got married in 2021.
Is that right? 21.
I got married in 21.
I got married in 22, but it's already passed.
Wait, 21? Yeah, had to been, yeah.
I think it was 22.
I got married in 21.
23, 24, 25. And we've had ours this year. Wait. Yeah.
My next one will be my 5th, for sure.
Yeah. Our 4th was this year.
Okay.
And it's already passed.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait,
Okay,
no.
4, 5, 6. Okay. Did y'all do anything for your anniversary? Are you are you going to do anything for your anniversary? We forgot
Mine's
about
already
ours.
passed.
I think we forgot.
We forgot.
Mine's
And
already passed.
like on Friday,
Mine was
we were
like 2 weeks ago or last month.
we were like, did we? I think it's this weekend. And so we
Yeah.
just tried to get in somewhere for dinner.
We were the same way. We're like, our anniversary is tomorrow. Whoa, snuck up.
Okay, well, we've just like jibber jabbered. We actually have some things people
Some
want
notes.
to know. So one of the things which I think is an interesting topic, because how many years have we been doing this? 2023 was our first one.
Very beginning of 23.
Yeah, almost as long as we've been married.
So 3.5 years we have been doing the YouTube channel in
Yeah.
one
You
way
Could
or the
say
other.
We're married to this job.
Yeah.
It kind of feels that way. So with that being said, that's still a baby channel in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
3.5 years is still a baby channel, and we're over 1 million subscribers, which it, we're over a
That
million.
was great. Dude.
We are over 1 million subscribers. So, with that being said, it's been great. We keep learning new things. We keep trying new things. Like we keep evolving.
Yeah.
What are your own personal ideas? So it's not even a goal.
Yeah.
Because it's just it doesn't even have to happen. It could just be what you think we should do with the channel going forward. What is
Okay.
your idea?
Live podcast.
Yeah, I think a live show.
Like 8. Like we do like a 10, like a run, like, hey, we're gonna announce with the first year, we do like a run of 10. We hit like 10 major cities or whatever in the southeast or whatever. And then we pick like a cool little hangout place, do the podcast, answer some questions from back and forth with people.
Get some musical guests to
Musical
partner
guests,
with. It's like a
Katie
whole
sings.
event shebang.
But who wants
And we
to
just
sit
do
there and
this
live
live.
listen to us
Dude.
talk?
It's a thing.
I think it's more, I might want to live hang out with them.
Right.
I want to get a room of the homies watching who I see in the comments and be like,
Like
yes, what's up?
What's her name? Who was like the star D&D.
Yes, like you helped us so much in
yeah.
D&D.
Literally taught us the game.
Like,
But I just think that would be cool.
Okay, so live.
I think, live show in person, I think would be awesome.
Well, the last time we had this conversation, we said round table, and look where we are now. So nothing's impossible.
Nothing is impossible.
There was a really long stint of y'all trying to get me to play Dungeons and Dragons as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
then-
know. Dude, we just keep chipping away.
I think,
we were talking about the other day that we missed doing podcasts in the Airbnb a little bit.
Yeah, you missed
Yeah.
doing it in the Airbnb.
Yeah, it's
doing
kind
it.
of nostalgia.
Yeah,
Well-
that was like back in the Disney. Like I remember.
And I would get in trouble for leaving stuff in there
Yeah.
by my mom.
I think it would be fun to do a show where you try food.
No.
That would be a really fun segment.
Do you know how much
to
it would
produce
take?
out.
Like how much money it would take for me to willingly do that? Like
you can do what everybody else does and fake it.
Yeah.
I won't.
I think that would be a great show, but it would be great because you won't.
I think anything along those lines, like you going on, doing experiences. Like I think at some point, eventually, like we always have the day-to-day stuff, but like I want to see Katie Van Slyke skydive. I want to see Katie Van Slyke
Yeah.
go live in Walmart for 24 hours. I want to go see Katie Van Slyke,
yeah.
do an escape room.
So you guys just really want to be YouTubey.
Yeah.
I mean, just
real YouTube.
Let's
Yeah.
like, that's crazy. Let's just say like, all right, we're gonna go find the best pizza in Nashville. Like whatever. Like something like
And
experience.
I would be totally fine to start a second channel to explore these ventures.
Yeah, we're gonna go into the
So
arch. in
here's
St.
the
Louis.
problem. We're already like skirting on time to get the videos we're
Well, you
doing
said
now.
you said that this was just whatever.
Yeah. We're,
Okay.
we're in
Sorry.
dreamland.
Sorry,
we're in
I'm
dreamland.
dream
She's like, let
crushing.
me tell you why that's dumb. This is never gonna work.
Okay, sorry. I'm dream crushing. Continue.
Yeah, I think we could do it. Yeah, I think, just get off prop.
Off prop.
I think videos off prop.
More shows are fun.
And just more, what would you call it? I think group experienced videos would be fun. So like
Sorry, the vet was texting me.
drop us 3 off in an escape room.
Corn maze.
Somebody's gonna film it. We're gonna try to get out of there.
You're just putting me in some uncomfy situations.
Yeah. But it's the tension. We want the tension.
I said a line in one of the recent videos that I just really resonate with. And I'm like, that's me. I said to someone, I don't think you know me well enough to know how little I like to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What did I say? I said I'm incompatible with being uncomfortable. Something like that.
Yeah.
You said, you don't know me, comma, my distaste for being uncomfortable is immense. Is exactly what you
Yes.
said. I listened to it 12 times.
Got it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That should be at minute 6:43.
And I feel like that really sums me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I get, like, you know, I can go like hunting and stuff like that, and like in negative 10-degree weather, sure, as long as I'm warm.
So so then you need to take the route of more. You be like the Mr. Beast running the game.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, she loves doing that today.
She
we're
loves doing that. So we need to do that.
You should let me hit you in the face with this placenta. But she won't try a mushroom Swiss burger. So maybe that's the direction.
So then
That is,
we can play the games.
Yeah. And then it's just like, yeah.
She can say, "Hey, I designed.
I'm putting my employees in Walmart for 24 hours to see. Yeah.
I'm dropping them off in
No.
an escape room.
I-
But it's a second channel.
I cannot be this like tyrant.
No,
It's not a tyrant.
It's not a tyrant.
like
You're just
the
setting
Mr.
up a
Beast
game.
esque.
It's like
You are the
Mr.
host.
Beast.
You're
You're
the
the
host.
host.
I think the power would get to me, and I think I would.
She would be with the showrunner. She's like, so what about a guillotine?
Not real, of course.
Okay, interesting thoughts.
Yeah, I think that stuff would be fun.
More realistically, a live podcast.
Yeah, I think a live podcast.
Y'all
And
I
I think a live weekly show.
I do not.
Just streaming.
I think that's more realistic. I just don't know how. I don't think people
Would
would
anybody
want to
come?
watch us live.
Well, they'll answer.
Well, I have a lot of faith and confidence in
The way I've always said is like
my homies
like
through the
imagine
stream.
what 100 people in a room. Like, you know, if 100 people in a room, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
So if 100 people in the comments say that they would do it, it's at least worth consideration.
Yeah,
I don't know. My birthday party was 100 people, and that's just like not that many people.
that was quite a bit of people. I've never had that many
124
people at my birthday party.
50 people.
We'll pin a comment and like it if you would go.
Yeah.
Just a little test the waters.
Well, it's not even if you would go. It's like, would you buy a ticket and go? That's
Yeah,
But it's also
That's a
going to be
big
an
part of it.
experience.
it would be an experience.
It wouldn't be
It would-
essentially just sitting down and like watching and catching it with Katie. That would just be while you're there, and then the extra stuff is like, you know, the Q&A little segment,
Q&A
before.
segment.
I see.
Music guests probably, maybe a
music
comedian,
guest.
somebody like we could build out a whole a show. You build out a show.
a little
It's an
set.
experience. Certainly worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Certainly worth the experience. And
So
then go ahead.
that kind of does fall into this next question because talking about the future of things, what is not even necessarily here, some 5-year goals. I love knowing people's 5-year goals. I'm so nosy, and I love to know what you're working on and what like I know you've got some little like outside hobbies, and I know like I just want to know your goals because I like to root for people.
Just like in general life.
In general, it could be work. It could be in general life. It could be if you're wanting to move, if you're wanting to sell your house, if you're wanting to get really good at golf, if you're wanting to, I mean, there's lots of goals.
Are you wanting me to go first? My 5-year goal would probably be, I definitely would like to make a couple movies in the next 5 years. I would also like to get good enough at golf that they will let me attempt to play in the U.S. Open, which isn't, you just got to get scratch. Just be a scratch golfer, and they'll let you try.
They will?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many people do they allow to do that? Is there a cap?
There's no cap on how many can try. Basically, there's like local tournaments, and then the top X amount from each tournament move on to another tournament, and then they play, and then the top move on to another one, and then eventually I think I don't know how many spots, but then you're in.
What is usually the entry level of like, okay, if you're playing an 18-hole course, I'm using all of my golf knowledge right now. What under par do you probably need to be at to be qualified for that?
If you're playing from the farthest back tees, probably on.
Don't know what that means.
Well, there's like different tee boxes. If you play the longest the course
I see.
allows, probably around even or 1 over.
Oh, so not even like
Yeah.
under par.
No, most courses are rated around 72. So if you shoot par, you're scratch.
Okay. What are you shooting at this moment?
Right now, I'm like, my problem now is stamina. I don't have enough energy to get through like
Interesting.
the grind of a 4.5 hour round. Usually about a little over 3 hours, I start kind of wearing down because I'm just not as physically fit as I used to be. But I played Saturday and I was 1 over through 14 holes.
Gotcha.
And then fell apart, shot 80, had a total meltdown in the last few holes. But I think I definitely have the game to do it. I think I can do it.
Okay. I've never played golf in my life.
You would have fun watching, I think.
I think I would say a lot of swear words if I tried.
Yeah, but you seem, I think you would have a good time in the cart.
Just
Get some music, some vibes, little fan.
It's a good vibe.
I love to be I would be a cart girl.
beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The
Back in the
drip.
day, I wish I knew that was a job. I would have done that in college.
Yeah.
I love talk to people, drive around, make little drinks. I would have done that.
Yeah.
I would have loved that.
So I'm going to try to get to scratch golf and make a couple movies in the next 5 years.
What? So like short films or like
No,
movie
I think I want to
movies?
make long ones. Yeah.
Do you have any topics lined up?
I just naturally lean horror. I think would be good at creating like tense moments and where you're like, so that's just like where my mind naturally goes. I would love to do like dramas, like a movie like The Social Network or something, where it's like these tense moments, but you're never scared. I would love to do that, but as far as like writing, I don't feel like I'm as good at that. Or my idea generations are always like, and it could be scary. And so that's just like my default.
Yeah. Okay. So movies and to try
Try to get to scratch.
at the US Open.
Well, if I get to scratch, they say, you're good enough that we'll let you try.
I see. I see.
You've met the threshold of we'll allow you to attempt,
Okay.
which is all I would like to do.
Okay. Well, that's something we will root for you for now.
Nah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Matthew, you've had enough time to think.
Just overall self-improvement, I think. Would like to have a farm by then.
A farm for animals or for hunting?
Just land for investing, for literally everything. Make money off of.
Yeah.
Certainly would like to imagine whatever movie he's making we'll be doing together.
Tag team that.
So that's always on the radar. I have
Do y'all need a female lead?
no. I have I have ideas and whatnot myself. I'm really I just have this strong desire to pursue a career in metal music, but I know that I don't have the desire.
What was that?
That was
chicken.
Frankie playing with the chicken downstairs.
Yo, that was
Could you hear
crazy.
that?
Yeah,
Maybe.
That was funny.
short version, I don't think I have the desire to go through with it or stick it out in order for it to be successful. I like what I'm doing now. So
You could just be like our friend who sings metal at our parties.
that's just not cool though. I would either have to do it or not do it.
What would be your biggest hiccup in that process?
What I know it takes to be successful. And to say
I've never heard you sing
say,
metal music though.
Well, it's not something you like. You're sitting around the campfire and, hey, is anybody, somebody get the guitar.
That's actually exactly what I would want to happen.
But I really like what I'm doing, and I really want to. I've always wanted to make movies, but my my faith and trust and just idea, I guess, of the film industry has just like waned and withered every single year. Like it just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And it makes it's like deflating my balloon of, I want to do it. You know, it's like, now I don't know if I want to, but I think like there's certainly a era, like everything has its seasons, and it takes people to make changes and make movies worth seeing again. So certainly want to be a part of that change as well. So maybe get some filming experience in, just making movies, putting stuff out there.
And if for no other reason, then I just almost detest being a talker. I don't like just talking about doing things. Like, oh, I really want to do this. And like, well, they always just say they want to do something and they never do.
Even if it doesn't work or sucks.
Like that just makes me a pit in my stomach that I'm like, even if I don't want to do it, I'm going to do it. Yeah. Because I don't want to be a talker. I want to do.
I can certainly say that if I died tomorrow, I would have no shortage of experiences just because I was like, give it a shot.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
What about you?
I have a lot of stuff that I'd like to happen in the next 5 years, but also I know that, like, if I look at 5 years ago, my plans were very different. And so I have a plan, but I'm also open to just letting like the Lord
just move
it.
Yeah,
you know, like whatever plan I come up with, like his plan is usually so much better.
Yeah.
And so I think being open to changes has helped me so much in the long run.
Gotta be.
And so like, for instance, we started this channel 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago, like I didn't have a single employee. Like y'all were contract workers that I had hired to like help with the YouTube channel. And I still wasn't fully taking over like the bills at the farm. And like we had just moved here and this building didn't exist. And like, I don't know, just so much has happened in like 3 years that I look back at 5 years ago, which was like a year into me and Jonathan's marriage. And we were living in a house in a neighborhood. And like, I don't know, it's kind of unfathomable to me what all's happened in 5 years.
Yeah. That
I have plans, but I also know that it's just kind of like unknown.
Yeah.
Like my plans set in place is that we have bought land. So like we have land that is not Running Springs.
Yeah.
Now Running Springs will never go away. Running Springs will go wherever we go. But I do plan on building and trying to grow. So what? Oh, sorry.
I hate it when
I'm sorry. I thought you were like,
this
thought
is
we were,
worth
like, doing,
talking
like,
about. She
Yeah.
will take like this small, like if something like a little hiccup or like whatever we're trying to like make so unnoticeable, she'll just shut production down and be like, what?
I only made quick eye contact to make sure he wasn't like being like, hey, this is happening.
well, that's what I didn't know if it was like, oh, I need to
know.
stop.
It's just so
But
funny.
then I looked over and he was just
It's
like
not
this.
wrong. It's just so funny. But anyway.
I'm so sorry.
Carry on.
So we've bought land. We're like right
Excited
now
to see
just I know we need to go out there. I've only been out there like 5 times.
Yeah.
Like Jonathan's out there bush hogging today. And so our plans are to put cows on it first and then to build. And so my overall plan is I would love to have a facility that because my brain always works like in the negative kind of where I'm like, if social media died and I lost everything, I have this functioning business.
Right.
And so I really want to create a space that has plenty of barns, plenty of pasture to continue my breeding program and then have 1 to 3 trainers on site. They be able to bring in their own clients and then like on site have, like therapy, like whether that be like the water treadmill and like the what was it called? Like, the thing that we took
bath.
Kennedy in, the bath, like the ice bath, the laser, shockwave, PEMF, and like have all these things available. So then, these people who are paying for their horses to be in training, they can also have all of this upkeep on site but it's through me and through my business. And
Right.
then I potentially, I'm not saying I would pull my horses from High Point necessarily, but potentially could have a stud or a couple studs
Right.
on site, and then, you know, be doing a lot of things that I'm outsourcing for,
Yeah.
all in one space. And so that's my plan. That's more of like a 5 to 10 year plan, I guess. But like, I think a lot of things will be in motion within 5 years for
Yeah.
that. And we would obviously be moving there, and
Right.
and it would just be like a whole, like, I would love the mini farm to be as equally as like
Like the Yellowstone of mini farms.
kinda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that, like, I would love to have a mini trainer on site. Like,
Yeah.
that's so far in the, but I just think it'd be freaking cool. So that, and then that's just like ramping up how we do content and how we share things. But it's also, like I said, creating this business within a business that can
Yeah.
hopefully be self-sustainable. And
Do you have any thoughts of a pursuit outside of equine or social media, like writing?
I want to sing.
Sing? Okay.
I want to sing. I want to have an EP at some point. I've done a little writing in the last like 6 months, and like I have written a song
Yeah.
with some incredible writers that we just haven't done anything with yet. And I do really want to put some music out, more so for like a bucket list thing, if
Yeah.
anything, because I love to sing. I think I don't suck. And I think if anything, like I have the ability to like fund myself doing this and not having to like
Right.
become a, you know, like have someone be in control over my voice in order to have it happen.
Uh-huh.
Just because I can go record a few things and do it on my dime, and
Yeah.
and
yeah.
it's just to fulfill a dream rather than to make it a career.
And that's fun.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
fun.
think I ever want to be a singer that, and I mean that does tie into like if we did do a live thing.
Scratches that itch.
Scratches that itch.
Yeah.
For everybody.
I'm certainly going to push for it because I want to be in the band.
What would you want to be like?
Okay.
What would you want to be?
Literally a cajon. Freaking guitar and a. It is a cajon.
So I'd want a guitar, a cajon, and a fiddle.
I can't do a fiddle.
Then I would play guitar
I can't do
if that's the only instruments you want.
I don't
What
really
about,
want a whole lot.
My true passion would be get me on the
little
keys.
Wait,
Little keys and guitar action.
I'm much better at piano than
I
guitar.
don't. How do I not know this about you?
That's like
asked.
my first instrument.
I have a piano.
Where?
Well, it's at my Nana's house, but I was going to bring it over. I play piano.
Well, we'll put it in the podcast room.
Dueling pianos.
I don't play that well. I was really, really into it. And like, I think I naturally am
Yeah.
pretty, like I pick it up really easily and I can pick some stuff out by ear. But I had this really mean teacher that just really pushed me off of it.
Yeah.
I had a beautiful, amazing, like sweet teacher named Ella when I was starting out, and she graduated college and left because she was at Belmont. And then I was transitioned to another teacher, and I couldn't tell you this lady's name, but she, like,
No good, huh?
it was rough.
9.
She was really upset that piano wasn't my number one thing.
Not your like passion.
And I was like, I
What's
just
that
want to learn to
drummer
play
movie?
piano.
With Miles, what's his name?
It's that not my tempo.
Not my tempo.
Like I was just taking,
Whiplash.
I was taking like two times a week lessons.
Yeah.
And but I was also showing, and like that was obviously my thing.
Yeah.
And that was she was really upset about that. And so she was really ugly, and not ugly physically, like
Right. She was
ugly hearted.
Yeah.
Nate has this video dialed up.
Yeah. I
That's
have a
what we
little
need to play.
video to show you that I can play.
That's what's getting me. This could be us in 6 months,
Let me see.
right before the podcast starts.
Let's see. You can't really hear me.
Is that who's playing?
That's my friend Jake.
Okay.
But he's playing piano.
Yeah, it was like he sold out some little club bar in Connecticut where he's from, and then he was like, "Come be in the band."
So you were playing the piano.
Yeah, I was on the whole show. Yeah.
Oh.
Could be cool.
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
Never asked.
New lore.
Because you've
unlocked
always just been a guitar guy.
all the time.
Because nobody just brings out the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We
guess.
need a keyboard. You have a keyboard, but we need.
Yeah.
Well, we need a shop keyboard,
We need a keyboard.
and then you can give me lessons.
I'll find us one.
And chairs.
Christy from High Point is texting me.
Let me make a note.
Chairs, keyboard.
Make a little note here.
I feel like I always have to have a fiddle in a song that I write, though. Like, I've written a few songs that were hunting related, and they were more like swampy, grindy. That's how, I don't know what that means, but that's how I describe my voice and the type of music I like to sing is like swampy. I don't know what that
Swampy,
means.
Yeah. It's
But it is how I describe it.
yeah, I think that's how you could describe it.
And I like grindy, and I don't like to do a fast tempo. Like, I don't like to.
It's almost like foggy too.
Yeah.
It's like Foggy
And
Swamp.
I
That's
like
a cool
if
band
I
name.
Foggy Swamp.
Foggy Swamp Boys. That's the band. Katie Van Slyke and the Foggy Swamp.
Just makes me think of swamp ass.
It's the Foggy Swamp.
Oh, but yeah, I do want to do some music. If
You have a good blues.
if anybody wants to listen to it, they can.
Like those old like World War II movies or whatever. I don't know whatever they're called, but like those girls that like wear those dresses and like
Oh, what are they called?
you know.
Like ragtime.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
You'd be a good one of those too.
And so like we had a plan, like we have a plan to put music out.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit stretched out timeline wise. And so we planned on having like a couple of originals and then a couple covers.
Yeah.
And so the covers that we have kind of planned out are like Old Red by Blake Shelton and
Yeah.
like some swampy songs, like
Yeah.
Seminole Wind. God. Yeah.
Oh, the Foggy
Older stuff.
Swamp.
I'm not with the times.
That's fine. That's fine.
And you could get a taste of that at our live show.
Oh my goodness.
Coming
Okay.
to a city near you.
So I guess
What time are we at, Eli?
I was gonna say, what is
Golly. The price of horses has gone up, huh?
that's on a whole other one now.
All right. I
That's on a
know
whole
you really
other
wanted to
one
get
now.
that in.
Okay. This is a good one, and we'll end with this one because it's not going to be a quick answer, I don't think.
Okay.
What have been your best and worst moments since we all started working together?
Okay.
Like here.
Worst
Yeah.
moments, easy. Having to reshoot this. Immediately after.
That's happened twice.
It's happened twice with the same person.
That's hilarious that it was with the
Yeah.
same person.
First time was complete user error. The second time was user error, but it was also technical error that we didn't know any better about, but now we do know better about. So in that aspect, it was user error.
What he's meaning is both times that my best friend Danny was a guest, we shot the entire podcast, like an hour's worth.
The first time we got 30 minutes in before I realized the record button wasn't hit.
I remember like that and be like, hey guys, you're not
It
gonna
went,
believe
it went
this.
on another 3 minutes of me just looking at that and looking at Nate going, I mean, there's nothing else. Like, usually if I forget to hit, and this is like, don't tell Katie this, but if I forget to hit record button on like a shot, I'll be like,
Give that to me again.
yeah, well, you can do a little bit better. We could probably do better on that. But you can't do that on this. So it's like, how do you fudge that?
That's when you have to, in your head, you see it happen at 30 minutes, which usually would go for about an hour. And you have to sit there and think, okay, do I just pretend like it's normal? And then like a day from now, be like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
No, can't
I
do that.
I can't just
Can't
like
do that.
bold. First off, I wouldn't be able to sleep, but I can't just like bold face just lie and be like, hey, like,
Yeah, I
for me
wouldn't-
to be like, oh, that intro could have been better. Forgot to hit record. 30-second intro, whatever. And I usually play it on like, hey, clearly I forgot to hit record. But to me, just to be like, we'll just say we don't know.
I
what
feel like if
happened.
I'm worried about something at all, I'm very clearly displaying.
And I'll tell you
that,
why, because it is
going on.
because whenever, like the second time, whenever it was a technical issue, and whenever I come to you and say, hey, I don't know what happened, you 100% know that that's true, because I don't just say that all the time. I never want to cry wolf with stuff like this, because if I ever come to you and be like, hey, there's a situation,
Something has happened.
you know that, hey, there's a situation.
So what happened on the second one? Because this was recent, and so we had to redo the whole thing. And we just ran it back immediately.
So we were recording 2 external hard drives, and sometimes in the past, one of the cameras would like flash a red exclamation point, and it's done it in the past, and we're like, "What is that?" But it's nothing has ever happened. Well, this time it flashed, and then we got to the end and went, it didn't save anything.
In layman's terms, it just wasn't getting information into. It wasn't storing the information. It was just recording it, which is just a faulty cable or faulty drive issue.
Yeah.
I see.
So I guess one of the cables was failing, which was causing that to pop up, and then it just finally failed.
I see. Yeah. So that's
With the
only
same
ever
person.
happened with the same person, which is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
So we've had
is
both of
hilarious.
those times that you watched those episodes were the second time that we talked about all
And that's
those
just the
topics.
worst. It's because then you have to it's 100% your fault, and like you have to go down there after everybody, because it's like I'm a big on like feelings too. Like I don't like knowing, like, even if you have the best intent, hey, don't worry about it. I know that this is a huge inconvenience for you to do this. And so now I have to go all the way downstairs and be like, hey, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do that. None of that was usable.
So this last time that it happened, I remember I was showing her the mini babies.
Mm-hmm.
We had like gotten done filming. We went outside. I was showing her like Jenny and Gidget, and we were sitting in the mini barn, and I just see Matt walk in, walk out. Walk in, walk out. And
I forgot what I said.
And so you didn't say anything. And so I walked out. I was like, do you need something? And he was like, we gotta redo the whole podcast. And I was
Rip the Band-Aid off.
oh, but we did it.
The
It's
best time?
fine. There are none.
No, there's a lot of best times. A lot. I really generally enjoy 50% of foaling season,
Yeah.
which is just like the parts that I genuinely enjoy. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm so happy that this foal is happening in front of me. I'm more happy playing Dungeons and Dragons, obviously. It's enjoyable. I'm glad that we're going to get to go to sleep after this. But, I love foaling season as a whole. I think that's super fun. But like
Well, because it's cold. It's no one's doing anything anyway. And then
it's just nice.
like, yeah, it's a
It's nice.
Don't have plenty of free time anyway. I'm just kidding. The vibe of foaling season, especially like the front half, and I actually, to be honest, I feel like
This year the back half
none
was-
of that. I don't even think there was like a front or back half.
the
I
back
felt
half
like all
this
the way
year
through,
was because that's when just everything was dying.
Yeah.
well, I meant fun.
Right. But what I'm saying is like the front half is like, oh, all these babies being born, they're all great. And then the last half was like freaking stressful because it was just like dead baby.
Yeah.
Baby came
Go to
out
the
after
vet.
really hard whatever. Oh, dead baby. This one, mommy's trying to die. Baby alive. Like literally everything was crazy.
The second half was more stressful.
And then we like the last baby was just like, oh, I'm gonna just be born out of nowhere and no one's gonna film it. So
Yeah.
the last half was stressful, and I don't feel like quite as at ease.
Yeah.
Horses aside, I think front to back, it was certainly a more. I feel like the other foaling seasons, we have like something that's really cool that like gets us through the first few weeks, and then like we're surviving the last. I don't feel like that happened this time. I feel like we were like pretty much just.
Well, we have
chilling.
a better like setup with the shop now.
Yeah.
We had kind of like an ongoing game
Thing.
that we were playing.
I think that's
that made
crucial.
us excited.
Yeah, I think that's crucial. We did
We-
lives. We enjoyed doing.
We always
lives.
eat good food. That's the thing. Like I know that
We
no
need
one-
to cook more next time.
we do need to cook more, but like I do know that like no one wants to be away from their wives and babies. No one wants to be
Start
sleeping
bringing them.
outside of their
Yeah.
bar. Like no one wants to not be in their bed at night. So like when we do have, okay, hey guys, this is an overnight night, and especially when it stretches on, we try to have some steaks and some good dinners.
But it
and
could be worse. At least we're not like, linemen.
Yeah.
Or like,
maybe don't put that
or
in
like
there.
laying pipe in Oregon or something. Like if I'm going to commit 3 months, like a lot of people like go out or whatever in 3 months, whatever. Like if I'm going to commit 3 months somewhere, like it's pretty cool to be able to.
Well,
like,
you can. If something happens, you can jet home during the day. It's like
Whatever.
A lot of the times they might not sleep at home, but they jet home.
at least
that
you're
morning.
with your friends and having good
Yeah.
times and good memories and all that stuff. It's never a bad time.
Yeah, it could be.
The one specific night of D&D where I stole the dog was my favorite.
Yeah, that was.
As far as like do you have like a singular this is clearly my top moment at KBS?
I think so.
Oh,
I think it was my birthday cake.
really?
Yeah, I think
I've
it's
never gotten
still
one,
that one.
Because we really didn't know each other that
You've
long.
never gotten
Yeah,
one
I
since
know.
either. It was just the one.
Yeah, it was just the one.
I haven't seen you on your birthday since then, I don't think.
Yeah, which I'm a big I like receiving gifts. So I think, and it was a big day for you. Mm-hmm. It was the same day you bought VS Code Red. Was also my birthday, and I was like, oh, you got me a cake on your big day. I think that was the most special I felt, which is probably my high point, even if it's not like the coolest thing.
3 years ago. There hasn't been a high point
I've
in
never
3
experienced
years.
anything
downhill.
close to resembling that.
We've certainly done a lot of cool stuff. I like.
You haven't said your worst moment.
Well,
Friday.
The other day. No, that cannot be.
no, that's not it.
It has to be I guess that would just be certainly any sort of editing. There's been plenty.
Yeah, there's been.
See, I think it's funny that y'all don't really consider, Matt was walking up. I cannot believe you didn't say cool. You walked up because we thought Cool was having her baby. And then we all walk in and my dad's like, she's dead. And I just start screaming. And you literally help Jonathan get her into the bucket of the tractor.
You probably blocked that out.
No, it was just I guess we can talk about this now. My first and foremost thought in that moment was, so am I not filming? Or am I filming? Was my first thought.
When now we know, we don't.
Yeah.
If it's like with Happy this year, when we're in emergency mode and we're just trying to save this animal or whatever. Because here's the thing. Them filming has nothing to do with what I'm doing. Them filming doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do in a timely fashion. But I also, that's not, the YouTube channel is not about exploiting tragedies. It's just not.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot of things that we could have done for views in the past. We could have used 7 for views. We could have used whatever. There's so many things that we could have done, and that's just not what this channel's about. And so now it's very distinct. When shit's hitting the fan, no.
But even sometimes I'm like, should we be filming this in case somebody is like, what happened?
Right.
And it's like,
I never want to make the executive decision.
I don't want to be weird and be filming, but if somebody's like, well, what time did this happen? You're like,
I see.
It happened at 10:23 and 26.
Or if 10
milliseconds.
years later or whatever, it's whatever. I never want to be it to be my choice. Be
I see.
Yeah. So or if the vet's what, I can tell you exactly what happened. I'm looking at it.
Right.
For
see.
recall on things, because stressful situations, your mind gets going. Maybe you don't have perfect recall on things, and I'm like, this is awkward if I film. Is it helpful to not from the standpoint of we're going to use this or anything,
right? Yeah, because this last year, I just remember because we thought, oh, Happy's having her baby, it's going to be great. Mm-hmm. And then immediately see it's wrong. Immediately see that it's just the face being presented and no feet. And so then goes into emergency mode of sedating her, trying to push baby back in, trying to grab legs, realizing we're in over her head, putting her on a trailer. And I do remember seeing y'all all just standing there in the barn. And I'm like, go to bed. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but it's just, I don't know. It's interesting to me because I feel like my brain goes there, but y'all go towards, I mean,
I'll tell you the worst moment in my freaking entire career was this dang mic situation. That has to be, the
that was
worst.
atrocious.
That would be the worst. The last 2 editings, the worst.
So for the horse show, the Kentucky horse show, there are some times where you might notice the sound is just like a little off or like a little echoey or little whatever. First of all, it was horrible because there was music the entire time. That's not normal. At shows, normally it's like only when you're in the show pen or like whatever, but there was music playing the entire time. And so for copyright situations and like to be able to monetize a video, you have to take all the sound out of the background, but then take it away.
The main thing was like we had these new mics. We've been trying to work out the mic situation for like a year, and like just what works best. And we didn't know any better. Again, it comes down to personal. Like we could have like set it up better for sure, but we had just got them and just started testing them out. But we should have done that with like an afternoon vlog as opposed to a 7-day horse show. We get back and there's like 4 different mics that have been given to 6 different people at different times of the day, and none of it was named and none of it was even in linear order. So like day 4 may have been before day 2, but only Rachel's day 4 because Nate's day 4 is where it's supposed to be. And so like there was most of the days were just figuring out whose mic goes to what. And then it was just like the end result ended up being putting every single audio track on this huge timeline. And I would just listen to it and then just say, well, that's not it. And then I would just listen to it. And I listened to the entire horse show in 30-minute blocks for about 48 hours. I was like, well, that's not Katie. That's not Katie.
Yeah,
But after now, lesson learned was incredible. Now we have...
So I knew that there was an audio issue. I was just told, hey, there's an audio issue with the mics.
There was probably 3 nights in a row where you and me were still talking at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Like 3 nights in a row that we just trying to figure it out.
Even in this last one, it's like I thought I was gonna have to then looking for like Nate's mic and then have to look through the video. Oh yeah, he's just not wearing a mic. And then Rachel will take her mic off and give it to somebody else. And oh my gosh. So like you have to listen to the whole thing.
Well, yeah, because we were like trying to give them to Aaron, trying to give them to Charlie.
That's all
let me give
done.
you this mic.
Yeah, we've got a new
I pushed a
system
button
now.
on the mic when I was handing it off.
Yeah.
And now it's not even recording.
So it's
And like stuff like that would happen. It's like,
now it's 10 times better. Lessons learned.
Because we usually had these packs that are like little, they're actual
They're wired.
packs and they have a wire. And so that's what we were using. But it was becoming really difficult at horse shows because of my horse show clothes and because we were trying to just like put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. And so we were like, okay, we'll go to clip-on mics. And then I think for the aspect of the horse show, the clip-on mics were great.
They are great.
for you.
But yeah.
Even now, like it doesn't like they are great. They work great for horse shows. We have a completely fantastic system laid up that it's never going to be a problem ever again.
Yeah, it should never be a problem again.
So the lessons learned from that were certainly greater than the trials and tribulations that resulted from that.
Yeah.
But then I feel like we're really hard on ourselves. And I feel like we, I don't know, we go on these, because, these horse shows are, they're big in a lot of different ways because it's like cost wise and just like effort in scheduling them and getting there and all this stuff. But if we look back at 3 years ago videos versus what we're trying to achieve now,
they're very different.
Very different, very much bigger.
And they're only going to get better.
They are very different.
And so I feel like, yes, things go wrong or, we have things we can improve upon, but,
Yeah, and I think that will always be the case.
Yeah.
We'll always have stuff to improve. Always trying new stuff.
We should try to turn
our frowns upside down.
Well, we should try, and it would be a short film, but we should try to turn a horse show into a movie.
Okay.
So instead of it being like a vlog, we should turn it into maybe, yes, I'm showing and there's real life going on outside of it, but we come up with like a script and a storyline that's happening at the horse show, and we just film it while we're there.
Yeah, I like this. Let's make a horse show movie.
Like, I'm not Katie in the movie. I'm somebody else.
I'm liking it more.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm liking it more. Get old Bean involved.
She would hate it.
Hates it. But that's our new.
We could make her like a villain.
She would like.
I think she'd like being a villain.
Yeah, she would. She would.
Her little emo soul, like she would.
Let's write it.
I know she's great. Is she come to?
She is my trainer, so yes.
She'll be there.
She'll be there.
Is Rachel going to be there?
Yes.
Vibes are up.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Vibes are up.
Anyway, I had this video
Has gone too long.
it's gone too
dang
long, and I have no clue how y'all are gonna make this edited to look nice, but I have faith.
Just for future note, the animal communicator.
Oh yeah, is that happening?
Okay, so I heard in Kentucky that Aaron has used an animal communicator before. He was like, there's some quacks out there. There's some that are like absolutely not real, but then there's others. He's like, I'm convinced, because he had a couple horses that he was like having issues with and he could not figure them out. And so the owner suggested an animal communicator. And there was this lady that had like this super huge wait list, and they're like, it's an emergency. So she fit them in. And the things she told him about this horse, and there's another one too, that the only reason they figured out how to help this horse was because of an animal communicator. And so like with this one specific horse, it told the communicator, I have 3 riders, which it did. It had Aaron, the mom, and the daughter. And then it was like, the guy kind of makes me feel a little unconfident sometimes. I feel like he's a little bit, like he makes me nervous, but then I'm my most confident with the little one. But she like, you can tell her that she can use her new spurs, but they're just a little sharp, so be careful. She had just gotten new spurs for her birthday, like right before. Like, how does this lady do that? You know?
I feel like it's a job that I would excel in. I would excel in it.
And so I have multiple horses that I want to be like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
What? Like Trudy. I want to be like, what's your problem? Why? Because that was the whole thing. Like when I bought her, they were like, we've done all this vet stuff. We don't know why she's unrideable. We don't know why she's whatever. Like she's gone and won all this stuff, and now we think it's a pain response, but like she can't be ridden. I want to be like, you faking?
What's
your beef? What's going on?
I certainly wouldn't discredit that being a thing. I think that there are quacks, and I think that there are probably some real ones. But I would expect a little bit of a performance.
But also,
I would want to be razzle dazzle.
This other horse, and I don't think this was
like a little something.
I don't think no, because they do it over the phone.
What?
They do it over the phone.
How do they know over the
Dude,
phone?
I would have wanted to come in, put her head next to her or whatever, and like, give me something. Give me a little something.
So
wear a wizard robe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like what, give me something.
Total side note, and I'll let you get back to this. I went to a concert last night. My friend was playing, and it was downtown.
I was downtown too.
It was on the sky deck thing, and I look over into this apartment, top floor. They've got like crazy lights on, crazy colored lights, and there's a person standing there like this. I mean, full wizard garb. Like the black robe, the tall black hat, just like pacing around his apartment for like 15 minutes. Took it off, totally jacked, by the way. Just took it off and then went to bed. I'm like, he just walked around his house in a full wizard's robe for like 15 minutes.
Ready to go out, and he's like, that's it, I'm not going.
That's it, I'm not going. That reminded me. Anyway, keep going. Go
that
with
was
the
a
phone.
worthwhile
So there was another horse that was not Aaron's that he told me about. He said this one really made me think it was real too, because there was this friend of his that had this horse in training that was wickedly talented but could not figure out how to get it sound. Like it was just in pain somehow. They'd had the vet do all these workups, could not figure out why it was hurting. And they had they finally were so desperate. They're like, let's have this animal communicator talk to it and see what it says. And I was like, yeah, my butt hurts. There's a spot right underneath my butt that, I don't know, like somewhere on like back glute area that hurts really bad, and I can't do anything because of it. They went and ultrasounded a really obscure spot that would not have ever come to anyone's brains, and he had a torn muscle.
Oh wow.
And once they did rehab for that specific thing, horses.
Back as an all-star.
Yeah,
Wow.
Are they putting the horses on the phone?
I don't know.
Like here, give me
you talk to them.
I don't know.
Like, I got to know a little bit more. And
You
you
talk
need
to
to do this so we can figure this out.
I don't know. I need to
Yeah.
I need to know this lady's number. I don't know what I want us to talk to this specific lady because I know that
Put it on
she's
speaker.
Yeah.
you know, he did say there was a couple things that didn't pan out.
Yeah.
Like for instance, she told him that like the horse that had the 3 riders. That horse told him, "Hey, it's fine if you want to like train hard on me and like get onto me. Like I know I'm being bad sometimes. Don't do it the day of the show though. Do it the day before because you ruin my confidence day of."
Yeah.
And so they tried that and then he was terrible. So they were like, okay, well,
Maybe the horse is just trying to sneak something in.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
They can say anything. That doesn't mean you have to believe them. I mean, they can say whatever. Now you have to figure out if it's a lie or the truth.
Saying extra treats right before?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting. I'm not sure.
And then you have to put them on the light. It's a whole thing.
so yeah, maybe we do need to try that. Anyway,
And then get our color palette. But that's it.
they do want to get color palette tested.
So obsessed.
On
I need to know what to
camera.
wear.
I am so obsessed with that idea. I hated to find out it was $400.
It's so expensive to have someone come colored.
But how
Match
worth
you.
a while is it? I forgot about that.
Maybe we can get a bundle deal.
We need to look
I'll go
into
in
it.
on you.
Yeah. We need to look into it. Anyway.
Hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know if you would like to see anything specific in future Catching Up With Katie episodes. I do feel like some of the things we started talking about, like the back end of content creation, is an interesting topic that if you would like to hear more about that,
We can
let
deep
us know.
dive.
And yeah, we'll
Put us
see
the
you
link.
in the next one.